Hello, children. A very good morning. So, today we are going to continue with rock and rock cycle. Okay. In the previous presentation, we talked about the two types of igneous rock, that is the intrusive and the extrusive igneous rock, and we also talked about the different types of extrusive igneous rock. So, today we are going to deal with the various types of intrusive igneous rock. The intrusive igneous rock, it can be divided into two major types, that is the plutonic and the hypervissile intrusive igneous rock, and that is on the basis of depth. At which depth has it been formed, and at which places the cooling has taken place. Accordingly, it has been divided into two types, as I've already told you. Plutonic. So first we are going to deal with plutonic. So what exactly is plutonic intrusive igneous rock? It is formed, we all know that intrusive igneous rock or any kind of igneous rock, it is formed due to the cooling of the magma. So plutonic rock, it is no different. It is also formed due to the cooling of the magma deep underneath the surface of the earth. And since it is formed deep underneath the surface of the earth, that's why we can say that this rock has a very deep-seated origin. That's why the term plutonic has been used. Plutonic igneous rock, it is actually very coarse grained. Okay, the size of the grain is coarse. That's because it is formed at great depth, and the cooling and crystallization has occurred very slowly. That is why the coarseness of the grain is present in the plutonic igneous rock. The plutonic igneous rock can again be divided into different types according to the depth at which it is found. Not only that, the size of the rock decides as to the type of the plutonic igneous rock. So the names of some of the types of plutonic rock is batholith, laccolith, lapolith, pacholith. All these are the names of the plutonic igneous rock, and we will deal with it one by one. Let's first talk about the batholith. Okay, plutonic igneous rock, that is, it has a large mass of igneous rock. So it is a large mass of igneous rock, and it covers an area around about 100 square kilometers of area is covered by it. So that is, it is very extensive. It is very irregular, and it has undulating surface as the magma has solidified. Okay, the shape is not regular, and it is usually dune shaped, and the walls of the dome is very steep. It is not a gentle kind of dome shape, but it is rather a steep kind of dome shape. Sometimes we see that this batholith, they are exposed onto the surface. That's because of the weathering and erosional work that is taking place. If the weathering is very intense or erosional work is intense, then the batholith is more surface area of batholith is exposed. Whereas if it has lesser intensity weathering and erosion taking place, then lesser surface area of batholith is exposed. And many of the batholith can also be seen in Chotanagpur and Ranchi plateau regions. The second type of plutonic intrusive igneous rock is the laccolith. Okay, and it is formed due to the intrusion of the magma in the bedding plains. When intrusion of the magma takes place, then this kind of laccolith it is found, and when this is taking place, at that time the overlying sediment is also arched, and the upper surface of the laccolith, it is rather dome shaped because of the arch, while the bottom part, it is rather flat. And in this one is also it is very extensive. It extends to several kilometers of diameter, as well as it is 1,000 meters thick. That means we can say that laccolith is also a huge plutonic igneous rock. The next one is the lapolith. Okay, so now what happens is, when the molten magma it started to rise up, at that time some part of the molten magma just moves in a horizontal direction towards the weaker plane region, and it solidifies in those area in the form of a saucer, or in the shape of a saucer, which is a concave mass which is facing upward. So that structure, it is known as the lapolith. The next one is the pacholith. It is a wavy mass of intrusive rock. So when the intrusive rock, it is in wave like formation, and it is basically formed from the acidic lava which solidifies either in the anticline or in the syncline, base of the syncline of a fold mountain. Then this kind of feature, it is known as pacholith. Stalks are similar to batholith, but it is smaller in size. That means whichever batholith it is smaller than 100 kilometers, then those batholith, it is known as the stalks. The second type of the intrusive igneous rock is the hypervessel rock. Okay, as the uh, plutonic rock, it is found deep underneath the surface of the earth. Hypervessel is formed closer to the surface of the earth. So it is formed due to volcanic activities. So what is happening is, when the volcanic activities are taking place, at that time the volcano, it does not get on the surface, but rather some part of the volcano or magma via the conduit, it enters the cracks and pores that is present underneath the surface of the earth, and then it solidifies. That is known as hypervessel rock or hypervessel intrusive igneous rock. So the sill, it is formed between the bedding plane. So what exactly is bedding plane? It is the boundary between the two layers of the rock, that is the bedding plane. So when intrusion of the lava or magma takes place within the bedding plane, between the two bedding planes, then what will happen? The solidification takes place, and that structure, it is horizontal to the ground. Okay, that is known as sill. And dike, similarly, dike formation of dike also takes place. It enters the cracks and the fissures, and this solidification takes place. But the difference between the dike and the sill is, dike is perpendicular while the sill is horizontal. Let's now move on to the characteristics of the igneous rock. So the first characteristics of the igneous rock is they are solidified forms of molten magma. So it is a solidified form of molten magma. Molten magma, it has solidified on the surface or underneath the surface. Thus the formation of igneous rock has taken place. They do not have distinct layer. Since it is the solidified form of molten rock material, that's why there is no strata in the igneous rock. It is not a stratified rock like the sedimentary rock. Then the third one is, they are not fossiliferous. That means, since it is not formed by the deposition like the sedimentary rock, so it is not fossiliferous, meaning it do not have fossil or traces of plants and animals in it. So it is simply the molten rock material that has solidified, or molten magma which has solidified. So there is no question of fossils being found in the igneous rock. This kind of rock, it is very hard and compact, and water cannot percolate through them. Even if it percolates, then it is via the cracks and the joints that are present in the igneous rock. Okay, the next one is, they are granular and crystalline. So they are basically formed due to the solidification of the molten rock material. That's why it is crystalline and granular. But the size of the crystal and the granules, it varies to a great extent as to where the solidification has taken place. Then the next one is, they are weathered by mechanical weathering. So weathering takes place via mechanical weathering. Other type of organic type of weathering does not take place. Chemical kind of weathering does not take place. Only mechanical weathering weathers this rock material, and it consists of silicate. Okay, lots of silicate is present in this rock material. Then the last one is valuable minerals like silver, gold, mica, lead are found in the igneous rock. So we can say it is a storehouse of different varieties of minerals. This is all for today, girls. We'll continue with the other types of rock, like the sedimentary and metamorphic, in the next presentation. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.